And this is my story. I met Jane 30 odd years ago. She was actually with one of my really good friends, and we were just friends initially, and she made it kind of clear that she really liked me, but I said, look, I'm kind of resisted because she was with my friend. We both ended up out of work, and we spent a lot of time during the day with each other. We started to, we were just friends. We used to play kind of tickle fights, and we ended up really having hugs and cuddles, and before we know it, one thing led to another, and we were in this kind of relationship. I didn't realise at the time how much I felt for her, that I did love her. And it wasn't until she kind of broke it off because she said that she told her boyfriend, and he said not to see me again. And this was the days before text messaging, before social media. So, if someone said you're not going to speak to them again, you didn't, because you couldn't call them. You couldn't send them a message, really. So I didn't, we didn't speak. And that devastated me, really. I mean, I think it took me about a year to recover in some sort of way, to sort of start to become normal again. I felt numb initially, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. I would just walk around. I walked around one day without any shoes on, and nobody noticed, And it was just really, really difficult. But in the end, we both got jobs. I started to work at Tesco, and it took me, like I say, about a year to get over, or to start to get over Jane, really. And eventually I met somebody at Tesco who I went on to marry. And we had 22 years together, myself and my previous wife. We had some good times, especially initially, in the early days. We had 3 kids, which are great. Loved them very much. As we got older, the things that we enjoyed to do started to differ quite a lot. And I felt that I'd grown a lot as a person, especially in the last few years, really. I started to coach football, and I really pushed myself outside my comfort zone. I mean, I think I'm naturally an introvert, but having to push myself through coaching. Now, I've never played football, but I managed to coach it eventually with quite a lot of training, quite a lot of help from other people. But I managed to coach it and managed to get along with people. And I realised really what I could do. And if you put your mind to anything, you can do it. It just takes time and effort, and you can do anything, especially with the right coaching, the right training. And I realised that I could do a lot more really than what I was really able to. I didn't want to sit there watching soap operas night after night. I wanted to do other things. I personally really struggled to express myself, express my feelings, and when I did, it would take me a long time to express that. And when I could finally express something I was interested in or something I wanted to do, and the answer came back, no, not really interested in that, or not willing to investigate it, not willing to even kind of give it a second thought, it was sort of soul destroying. And so over the last few years really of my marriage, or my previous marriage, things were not really nice. I mean, we wanted to do different things. I wasn't really happy just to sit there watching soap operas. It just bored me to tears. I'm not ready to be old and sitting there, with my slippers on and for the rest of my life. I'm still young-ish, and I can still do stuff. And while I still can do stuff, I want to do stuff. So we had the lockdown, and during lockdown we had to change the way we did things. Eventually, for my birthday, my wife bought me a drone, and I loved doing that, and it was always wanting to fly something. And it also was really good for photography as well, which I've always loved to do, but never really got the hang of it. And I realised that it was just so much fun being able to take pictures and videos. And that's what I did. And then I saw that Jane had this this car that would look great actually in a video shoot. And I just messaged her and said, oh, do you want me to do some video of your car or some pictures of your car? And eventually she took me up on it. So I turned up to the shoot, and you know, it all went from there. I wasn't interested in Jane initially. It was just to turn up and take the pictures. But what I did tell her when I was there, I told her that she was my first love, because I'd never ever told her that. And I felt that I loved her. I needed to tell her because I need to get out of my system really. And she kind of gave me a hug, and yeah, that was really nice. So when I met Jane again, and she was kind of in the same situation really. I mean, she wanted to do things, but never really had the opportunity. And we just sort of hit it off. And after that first meeting, it became quite a sort of roller coaster really. Well, not a roller coaster, there was no lows. We just had so much fun together. And it wasn't long, and Jane said, oh, I'm telling him, you know, I'm telling my husband. Okay, well, I better tell my wife then that I'm leaving. And we never really discussed it. I never really asked her, well, I never did ask her to leave. I had asked her to leave her boyfriend 30 years ago, and she didn't. So that was kind of my biggest fear actually, is just that I didn't want to get hurt again. Because I knew I loved her, and I knew I could love her again. And the last thing I wanted was to be in a situation where I was on this endless kind of affair. Because when we met up, I didn't know what she wanted. I didn't know if she wanted just a, you know, just like a physical thing. I didn't know if she wanted, you know, if she'd had a dozen affairs before. I didn't know. So I was full of kind of doubt really and worry. But when we met up, you know, we had a chat about those things, and I realised that, you know, there'd never been anybody else. You know, it's not like I was one in a long line of boyfriends. And we just hit it off, and we started seeing each other. And like I say, after 5 weeks, we told our partners that we were leaving. And I said to her before, I said I told her before that I don't care where I live with her, I'd live with her in a cardboard box. And that was the case, and it nearly came to pass. So when we left, we told our spouses I think it was on a Thursday, and we left on a Friday morning. So, and that was the worst day of my life, not because I've left my spouse, but because I'd leave the house that my kids are in. And that nearly killed me, to be honest. I absolutely hated doing that. But at that time, I couldn't really feel anything, but I knew I had to do this. I knew I had to leave, because I was dying slowly day by day. You know, if I hadn't left then, I was just on a downward spiral. I was never going to be truly happy, and I needed to take the chance to be happy. So we left, and we didn't have anywhere to stay. She'd left her house, I'd left mine, and we stayed that first night in a hotel. I have a friend who offered us his couch in his studio that bands practice in, and that was brilliant, you know, because we had at least the roof over our heads. But as it turned out, Jane's husband had moved out of their house, which was it's a rented house. So we moved in there, and we were lucky really that we were able to find, you know, a place to live. And since that day, really, we've not really looked back. I mean, we do all sorts of things now, and we do things. We have great conversations. I can talk about anything with Jane, and if I say something to her, I might say, I want to try this, I want to try that, and she'll just, yeah, let's give it a go. And it's really refreshing that we can be so open, and we've grown so much in that year too. So we've grown together. We haven't grown different ways, we've grown together, and we've become closer over the past 11 months. And in about a month's time, we're due to get married, which I'm really looking forward to, actually being married to her, finally, because I wanted to marry her 30 years ago. And it's just going to be, well, you don't know, you hope, but I think that we've got a great life ahead of us if we keep communicating and we keep pushing forward and pushing our comfort zones. we're going to do amazing things. And this is why we really wanted to do this channel, because you can be part of that journey. You know, you can see how we move along in our life, because it's all about the journey, really. It's all about, you know, we're moving towards death ultimately, and nobody wants to think about that, but let's enjoy every day. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I enjoy waking up, looking at Jane. We have a hug in the morning for, you know, might be 10, 20 minutes before we get up, and we have breakfast together. I'll make lunch and we go off to work separately, and I look forward to seeing her all day. You know, I don't really hear from her during the day and she doesn't really hear from me, but when we get home, you know, there's always kind of a drink waiting for me, and we have another little hug, and, you know, I look forward to going to bed, because we'll just lay there for like half an hour just in each other's arms, and the way that she touches me, she just has got this amazing touch, and she sort of puts me to sleep and puts me to ease with the way that she touched me. And it's just a really special thing to find somebody that affects you like that. And we've done so many things in this past year. I mean, we've been to all sorts of places. I mean, Jane does struggle a bit physically. She's got you know, a few conditions that she struggles with, but she tries. You know, she doesn't complain about it. She gets on with it, and that's brilliant. I love that. That's one of the things I love about her. She poodles about in the mornings like she's a little old lady, and I'm kind of looking forward to us being little and old together, because that's how I see myself. You know, I see myself with her now for the rest of my life, and I'm so looking forward to seeing what that life holds together. I've kind of gone on a bit. So when we both left, we took a massive risk, really, because we might not have got along. I mean, we might have hated each other, but it turns out we do get along, and it is great, and we're so looking forward to the future. If you want to be part of our journey, then maybe suggest some things that you think that we should do. I mean, we've got all sorts of things lined up, but maybe you could suggest something. Maybe leave a comment. I mean, how do you feel? Are you married? You know, how do you feel in your relationship? Are you growing together? Are you growing apart? I don't want this to be like a reason you leave somebody, but for me personally, I had to be selfish. I had to be happy, or at least try and be happy, you know, because it was never going to happen where I was not happy. I wasn't moving forward. All I was doing was like moving backwards, really, or not moving anywhere. And a relationship, I think, is like a shark. If you don't move forward, it dies. And that certainly happened. If you've enjoyed the video, maybe you could give it a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment. What do you think? Would you have done this? Do you think we're crazy? Do you think we're not crazy? But be nice, you know. We're not trying to be nasty to anyone. We're trying to be nice. But yeah, what do you think?